Hello, I'm Stefan Wallin at Telef Systems. I will do a network control system demo for you, but before going into the actual hands-on part, I would like to introduce the demo a little bit before. A demo is one thing, the purpose of it is another thing. So before going into the actual demo, what am I trying to show? What I'm showing here is focused on managing services. The network control system can do device configurations, but here I'm focusing actually on provisioning network services. And the main focus here is to show how the network control system can manage the life cycle. It's fairly easy to create a service, push the config to the network and just fire and forget. But what NCS does is that you can modify a service, you can delete a service, and NCS will automatically derive the configuration changes to the network. So that's at the core of the demo. So remember that, the service lifecycle management features I'm showing you. Behind all this is the model-driven capabilities of NCS. So in the demo I have Cisco devices, I have PICA-8 devices. So how can we actually talk to those guys? How can we configure them? How can we have a CLI for them? How can we have a web UI for them? Everything is auto-rendered from the device models. How can we have a CLI for services? How many hours did we program that? 0. Because we do a data model of the service, we load the service model to NCS and we render all the interfaces. So everything you see in the demo is generated from the data models rather than programmed by a horde of programmers. In this demo I have Cisco devices and PICA-8 devices, so you can see that I can provision layer 2 tunnels across 2 different vendors, and that's at the heart of NCS, doing configuration management across different vendors. I will mostly do the demo in the web UI. I will do parts of it in the CLI. What's important to understand that both those 2 UIs and all the programmatic APIs we have is actually the same API. It's just different ways of looking to the data. So it's one single pane of glass to the complete network, to all services, just displayed in different UIs and APIs. The demo I will run is a very small sort of data center demo where I establish Q and Q tunnels. So I have 2 distribution switches. Cisco, I have a mix of edge switches from PICA and Cisco. So I will establish 2 tunnels from the edge through the core to the other side of the edge. Going back to the NCS block diagram, what are we actually showing here? We are using the NADs to talk to the devices. So for example, in order to do the provisioning for the Cisco devices, we're using our Cisco CLI engine that can generate the Cisco CLI commands without us programming them. We have device data models for Cisco and PICA-8 that drives the device manager that generates the database schema for those devices. We've done a Q-in-Q service model. So in the Yang, we have defined what are the attributes of a Q-in-Q layer 2 tunnel that's specified in the Q-in-Q service model that is loaded to the service manager. And then the magic. Here I have my service config. What are the corresponding device configs? Do I throw programmers to it? No. We have FastMap that generates all the lifecycle changes, and you just specify the actual mapping in a simple template. So we have done the template mapping for how the layer 2 tunnel should be applied to the network. That's what we have done in order to prepare this demo. The demo will consist of 5 parts. Although we're focused on service management in this demo, I will give you a bit of glimpse on what we can do with devices. There are other demos that we focus on device management, but you'll see a little bit what we can do with devices. Then I will move up to creating a service, creating a layer 2 tunnel, showing you how we create the device configurations. I will change an existing service to illustrate FastMap. I will actually break the service by logging into one of the devices, making config changes on that device that actually breaks the service. I will show you how NCS can restore that and fix the service again. At the end, I will show you how we can do service impacts. We have a problem on a fault on a port that's actually used by a tunnel. And for NCS, it's actually very easy to deduce a fault on that port impacts this customer. So let's move to the demo.